Good morning, I'm on the Isle of Cumbrae today on a glorious, sunny but chilly autumn morning. And I'm heading up to the peak of the island known as the Gladestone. So it's going to be uphill for 2.5 miles and then I'm going to come back the same route. So let's get moving. Who needs bins when you can just burn everything? Right, now you can see I'm amongst some trees here because I'm heading away from the coast and up the hill just at the start of it, so I've got plenty of breath left in me. So it's a different route from what I did the last time I was here a couple of months ago. It's a shorter route, but let's say it is uphill, so I'm sure I'll get out of breath the further up I go, so I might film more on the way back down, or talk more on the way back down. Yeah, I decided to come here specifically today because we're at the tail end of September. I doubt there's going to be many days of sun left, so if you're going to climb up a hill on an island with panoramic views all around the west coast of Scotland, probably best to do it on a sunny clear day. I'm sure it'd be nice coming up here in the cloud and the drizzle, but let's make the most of a little bit of sun we've got left, eh? If only I'd come somewhere with a view, eh? To get here today, it took me 1 hour in total from stepping out my front door to stepping off the ferry onto the island. That's quite a short journey. You know, it's just great having this nearby. If only the train fares were a wee bit cheaper, I'd be happier. But still, can't really complain. A train and a ferry with a few short walks in between the station, the ferry and my house and the train. It's not bad. Hello, sheeps. Further up the hill, loads of coos. Just a lovely wee house, sat here on its own, away from everybody. It's not a bad deal. I bet you at the top windows they get a cracking view back to the mainland. Look at the lush green meadows and the rolling hills. And back across the mainland, all those fantastic hills at the Clyde Muirshiel Regional Park. And a few windmills up in the hills just to annoy Donald Trump. Here's the thing, I've got no problem with these windmills. You'll not see it from here, but if you go further down that coast, there's old Hunterston Power Station. It's a nuclear station and it is an utter eyesore. No longer in use, but You're telling me those windmills are worse than some ugly old industrial station? I'll say you're talking nonsense. Starting to get a fair bit higher now. The farm just passed down the hill there. And you can see the yachts out in the water. It'll be coming through the marina in Largs. Gorgeous day to just be sailing about there. Yeah, so I shouldn't see any traffic in this road, because when I first entered it at the fork off the main road, it had these barriers, so it's closed for traffic. Well, at least from this direction. Might be some coming from down there and heading up the hill, which is up this way, up through this hairpin bend, and it winds right up to the top. And you can tell I'm walking uphill because my breath is getting heavier. When I left the house about an hour and a half ago, it was absolutely freezing. So I put on a woolly hat, thinking, I'm going to need that to cover my baldy head. But now we're hitting midday, it's roasting. And I haven't brought a baseball cap with me or my other hat. And I can't exactly put on a woolly hat. So I'm going to have to be careful. Don't want to end up with a burnt head. Hopefully I won't, because it's autumn, but schoolboy error. Baldies need to prepare for the worst when it comes to sun and the worst when it comes to the cold. Need 2 hats in every trip. Lots of berries, probably poisonous. Won't be chomping in any of them. I've came prepared with a sausage roll and a Lion Bar breakfast bar. What else do you need? I was looking up the hill at these coos 15 minutes ago. Now I'm looking down upon them. I would say that's not a bad life for a cow, but as it's a farm and we'll probably get into somebody's dinner plate soon, perhaps it's not so good. Poor creatures. Oh, that view just gets better the higher up you go. But because I'm on the west side of the island, I can only see back towards Largs. But once I get to the top of the island, I'll see everywhere. I'll see the Isle of Bute, possibly see the western peninsula of mainland Scotland. I think you can see it from up here, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely see the Isle of Bute. And the Isle of Arran as well, that'll be up here. Which you absolutely would not see in a rainy day, but today is glorious. Barely a cloud in the sky. Sitting down for 2 minutes, have a drink of water, get my breath back before the final push. When I turn this bend, that will take us onto the northern side of the island, and you can just about see the hills of I'm not entirely sure what island that is, just slightly over the top of those hills. It'll be Butte or Arran. I can't see enough from here to tell. More coos. There's only one car gone past me whilst I've been heading up this hill. So I'm hoping when I get to the peak that it's going to be quiet. And I'm going to grab a seat there, eat my lunch, film the panorama, and then I'm going to charge back down this hill. Oh, look at that. Lovely blue sea. That's the mainland over there, I think. Or is it the Isle of Bute? Not sure. No, that's the other side, Dunoon. That might be over towards Dunoon. I really should get better with the local geography and be able to point these places out. But I think that might be heading round the mainland coast on the right towards Greenock. So across the water on the left would be Dunoon, or somewhere near Dunoon. Which I'm guessing makes that island over there Bute. Yeah, could be. Anyway, get a better view at the top. Yeah, so this road circles around the peak. So I'm now on the other side of the island before the final push up to the top. There's a wee steep bit up here. There's people in front of me, so I'm probably going to end up catching them up, so I'll do less talking, which I'm sure you're grateful for. That's a fountain that no longer works, because that's disgusting muddy rainwater. Oh dear, I'm knackered. Powered up that hill. Well, look at the view behind me, where I came from. Panning right round until just through these bushes you can see the glorious peaks of Arran. Partly hidden in the clouds. Just sitting up there is a marker stone for the peak. So I am almost there. Oh, which my lungs are going to thank me for. It's very windy up here. I've got noise cancelling switched on my microphone. I don't have it up full, so this might be quite annoying for you. There we go. Nobody here yet until those old guys catch up with me. So. Let's have a quick look at the map. And try and not block it with my shadow. So Arran is back there, those peaks. A lot of these names I don't know. Where they are. Yes, So that was Dunoon that was pointing to earlier on, definitely. Ah, those mountains away in the distance, apparently that's Ben Lomond. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. It's very distant, so when you go right between the mainland down the Ayrshire and Inverclyde coast, and that's on the right, with Dunoon and Argyll on the left, those mountains between them, that must be, well, one of them's Ben Lomond, I don't know which one. I climbed that years ago, I couldn't manage it now. Let's go a wee wander. Anyway, you get up and you've got to do that. Somebody's left a tribute to a granny. A lot of these benches have tributes on them. I can understand why. It's a lovely place to come to. Now the bushes are slightly obscuring my view of Arran, so I'm going to lift the camera right up. There we go. I hope you can see it. That's as high as I can get the camera without climbing onto this stone. I'm not going to climb onto that stone because the wind is very strong. I don't fancy getting blown off and breaking some bones up here. But what a view. That's Arran there. Goatfell Mountain. It's looking back towards the mainland, so that'll be fairly in that direction. There's a little pond down there. That's the Clyde Shield Regional Park behind Largs. Largs Marina. Largs Town. And back around to the Inverclyde coast in Dunoon. And the Isle of Bute just in front of me there. I've never been to the Isle of Bute. I'm going to have to go. It's just a wee bit of a pain from where I live. There isn't a direct train from Ayrshire. But I want to do it. And I will do it at some point. It's just that I try to keep my trips to under 4 hours. And I couldn't do a trip to Bute in under 4 hours. So, the reason I keep it to under 4 hours is I've got 2 old cats at home and one of them's quite sickly. So I can't leave them for much longer than that. They need somebody in the house to give them attention, and as it so happens, that person is me. Anyway, I am going to grab a seat. Just trying to decide. It'd be nice if there was one facing into the sun, but there isn't, so I'm going to sit here. Back down I go. What a day. It's absolutely freezing up here. 1 minute the sun is baking me, and the next minute I'm absolutely freezing. It's a hell of a wind that's blowing, so I've got my hat on. I'm actually quite grateful for it because I didn't want my head to burn, but the cold wind has saved me. I can get almost a better view of Arran from here, the peaks at least. Slightly blocked by the bushes up at the top. I think need somebody to come and chop those down so that that view isn't obstructed. I keep saying one day I would like to climb up to the top of Goatfell, which is the highest peak in Arran. And I think it's about 2,900-ish feet high. I couldn't do it, but I'd like to. If I could get myself fitter, I would, but I can't see it happening. I need to be out doing these walks and exercising every day, which to be honest, as a 50 something, I really can't be bothered with. Definitely need to strengthen my legs, improve my lung capacity. I mean, it is doable, but you've got to have some motivation to do it, and I don't. So I don't think I'll ever climb it. But you never know. I think I'm just going to keep the camera on and point forward on the way down because the views are that good. I'd be ashamed to stop recording. When you're walking uphill, you're kind of looking up into greenery, you're not looking out across the coast. So I kind of enjoy coming down better. I just think the views are terrific. Look at that. Wow. And I can talk as well without coughing up a lung. I don't know if I like the big ugly farm down there, but apart from that, what a view. Right, I've kept the woolly bonnet on because that nice cold wind is still here, which suits me just fine. I can come out in bare arms but keep the head warm. Anyway, I'm going back down the same route I went up, although it looks different the way down. I could have cut right across towards Millport, but then I would have had to have made my way back along the coast from Millport. I did that a couple of months ago, so I didn't want to film it again, maybe next year. So I'm sticking to this route for now. There's only so many routes you can do in Cumbria. You know, I saw a couple of paths on the map, sort of cut across parts of the island, but I suspect they're dead ends. But I don't know. If you've got any idea if there's little hidden routes on this island, let me know. Because I'm not too sure, I just know the main roads. So leave a comment and let me know that information. So I'm 15 minutes behind schedule. I had set myself a target of getting up there in an hour and 15 minutes and then getting back in an hour. But because I was sitting down and eating a bit of lunch, it's kind of slowed me down a little bit. So I'll see what time I get back for. If I get to the ferry terminal and there's a ferry there, I might just jump onto it. If there isn't a ferry there, I'll just keep walking. I can see water up there. Is that a pond? Or a reservoir? Or a bit of flooding? I didn't notice it on the way up, but the sun's hitting it here, so it's catching my eye. There's a gate in front of it, so I don't know. Probably just a bit of flooding at the bottom of the hill. See it in there? I reckon that's man-made. There's a gate here, but is it man-made? Is it just a wee ditch in the land? I don't know. I reckon with there being a gate here, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe the farmer brings cattle into the water or something, gives them a drink there, who knows. I don't know anything about farming. So, I suspect it's man-made. and some of the water running off it down here. So I've spent the past few days watching Taskmaster, which I'd only seen clips of before, but I managed to download all the old series, so I've been watching through them because I really like Greg Davis, the comedian. Went to see him a couple of times. Saw him once at the Pleasance in Edinburgh, late night show during the Fringe, and it was terrific. So I went to see him again in Glasgow at the Pavilion, I think, and he was terrific again. That's a long time ago, right enough, probably at least 12 years ago. But I'd never watched Taskmaster. I thought I'm going to start watching this. So now I've been binging them. I love them. Just cracks me up. I kind of initially thought, how can this possibly be interesting, just celebrities doing stupid tasks? But actually the stupidity of how they go about it is what makes it interesting. So I'm having a right good time watching them. So now that I've recorded a video for today, I can chill out over the weekend and start watching some more episodes. I think there's loads of series, and I'm only on series 3, so plenty still to see. Getting near the bottom of the hill, there's a farm I passed earlier. The yachts are still out. I'd imagine that working on a farm at this time of year is quite pleasant. It's nice and cool but sunny, but I guarantee in the winter it will be a lot less pleasant. It won't look like this. The rain will be lashing down. The winds will be blowing. Probably can't see much across the landscape either. There's a funky smell here. Oof. Oh man. The wind must have been blowing a different direction on the way up because I couldn't smell a thing, but it's absolutely stinking here today. Looks like a really old building. Be amazed if that isn't at least 100 years old, maybe a lot more. Even the adjoining house looks old, same bricks. On the final straight, you can see a speck in the distance down at the coastal road, cycling along there. Do you know, I'd like to do that again. I've still got a mountain bike at home that I haven't used for about 10 years. But I'd like to do it. It's just the faffing about, taking the bike on the train and getting it here. And the fact that I'm unfit and probably couldn't manage to cycle around the island either. But still, I'd like to do it. Another one of those things I'd like to do but I'm probably not going to do. You know, it's so nice here today. But I reckon in winter you'd feel pretty miserable living here, surely. Unless you really, really don't want to be near anybody, but you still need to get your shopping. And as far as I know, there aren't any supermarkets in Millport. So what have you got to do? Nip across in that ferry in choppy water. You know, and then you come back here and it'll be desolate and miserable. So I wonder how many of these homes here are holiday homes and how many are actually lived in all year round. It'd be a shame if it was just holiday homes. There's so many big houses here that I doubt they're left empty for, you know, half of the year. But you never know. There's some people with enough money to buy a big house and leave it empty. Not me, unfortunately. Wouldn't that be nice? I doubt that house is left empty. It's a proper big house, that. There's got to be a family living in there, surely. Might be that house, I'm not sure, but there was a wee jetty in front of a house when I walked the coast the last time. I think it might be there. But I was absolutely astonished. There was a seal just sitting on this old disused jetty. Just sitting there soaking up the sun. But I'd packed my camera away into my bag and I was knackered and I was hurrying to try and catch the ferry. So I didn't pull the camera out to film it. But I saw other people taking pictures. Not that same day, but online. And there was a seal on that jetty. So maybe it's its favourite relaxation spot. I don't think I've got a chance to see it today, but you never know. I just spotted this little side road, so I'm going to go and take it, get back down onto the coast. Didn't know this existed. There's that nice house. What I'm thinking is, if that is the house with the jetty, then I might see a seal. Or I could be talking nonsense, it might not be this house at all. It's a beauty. There's not a wee house there. There we go, I've got neighbours after all. Aye. That's more in my price range. Ah, this is the jetty where the seal was. Aye, the seal was right in the end of this jetty. But it's not here today. Ah, well, that's unfortunate. Maybe next time. Palm trees in Scotland. Notice these red rocks in Millport. Don't know much about them, but if I had to guess, I'd say they're probably volcanic, ancient volcanic rocks. If I'm talking absolute nonsense, feel free to tell me I'm talking absolute nonsense. That guy there on the bike looked older than me. So if he's older than me and he's cycling around the island, I reckon I could do it. But then, maybe he's a lot fitter than me as well. The big row of cars just went past me, so that obviously means a ferry just arrived. In fact, there it is up there. It's just loading up just now, so I'll be at that ferry port in a few minutes. And there's a bigger ferry just coming across the water, so I could get it. Wow, that's some wind that's blowing. Very cold wind. Got a tiny wee beach here, covered in seaweed and shells. But sadly, no seals. Ah well. Tried to find one, but nah, they're in hiding today. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this jolly jaunt to the Isle of Cumbrae. Didn't even go to Millport either, because there's people in Millport. Why go and see people? We can go and see the view. So aye, so that was a lovely walk up there. Thanks for watching and cheerio now. Hey mate, aye.
Run all the way.
Is that?
Run all the way.
No, just I'll you're on that distance, you kidding? Thanks.
Thanks, pal. Thanks to the left-hand side of the street.
No bother.